And hello out there, everybody. What's going on? This is Miho with the Too Close to Call podcast series, joined, as always, by my father, Chris Mihalik, for the Pitt Panther podcast series. And, Hawk, it's Monday. We've had some time to digest. Are you feeling any better since Saturday night, Sunday morning, when things were a little tough being a Panther fan?
Honestly, no. And you want to know why?
You haven't started drinking again yet.
Because our birds last night did not help the matter.
Yes, that's very true.
Okay, this is an Eastern PA, Pennsylvania, or Pitt podcast, so the birds did not help me at all.
That's true.
Aguilar drops that pass, and I'm thinking to myself, my God, I've seen way too many of those this weekend.
Yes.
Well, that's another pet peeve of mine. Let's have an unbiased reporter covering the game. Let's have Todd Blackledge covering the Pitt Penn State game.
There you go.
Right, I'm sure that I did not listen to the broadcast.
He was talking about his firsthand experiences. He's perfect for the opportunity.
Sure, yeah.
They should have just put like Dorsett or Marino on the other side.
The best part of it though was that I can't remember which controversial play it was during the game, but me and some of the nitwit fans around me were going back and forth over how can you change that call, and then you texted me and said Todd Blackledge says it's a fumble or something along those lines, and I said, and I'm pointing to my phone going, your boy Todd Blackledge is telling people on national television that it was not a completion or something like that. So yeah, exactly.
But so you just touched on it. You were in attendance for the game. One of, I think it was 108,000 was
Correct.
announced. Is
Yes.
that what they said?
Correct. It was a late arriving crowd.
Yeah. A late arriving game.
Late arriving game. I will say the parking situation up there was a shit show.
Yeah. I've read that in some articles, even from the Penn State side.
I was told that going up to it that you'll have no problem getting there, and we left early. We left around 5:30, got up there 8 o'clock.
Okay.
It was probably after 9 o'clock till we got into our parking spot, and we were at a point where you could literally see the stadium.
No way.
And you were just crawling.
Wow.
Okay, and I got to be honest with you. One of the best lines I heard was from a guy I was talking to tailgating.
Okay.
Penn State guy, and he says, he goes, I'm sure the new traffic pattern was designed by a Pitt logistics graduate. And I said, okay, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, there were multiple articles written in local newspapers from the Penn State beat writer side of things. They talked about how it was the smallest crowd they had for the team entrance when the buses arrived at like 8 or 8:30 or something. It was the smallest kind of cavalry they've had of fans there, but people were coming in late. And then with the lightning storm that hit, everybody had to go back indoors. And then once they let everybody out, obviously everybody mad bums right to the lines. And they were showing pictures. People who were in the stadium were taking pictures kind of over the top of like, look at the line. Mm-hmm. And it was, oh my God, it would have been my worst nightmare. So I just... The whole thing, 12 o'clock, and then just the new logistics, new parking, it just seemed to be, actually, I think it kind of worked in Pitt favor with, a late arriving crowd. It kind of let them settle in before really they got the teeth of it.
And, unfortunately, we were lucky. We got into the stadium, and then they made the announcement. We weren't part of the crowd that had to go back to their cars, or worse, go wait in the Bryce Jordan Center, right?
Right.
There was this little yellow dot coming across from the weather map, but there was no lightning, no thunder. I mean, I'm just like shaking my head.
The lightning was 8 miles away, which is the magic number, right? Where they have to bang it.
I know you have to err on the side of safety. I get it, but
yeah, this isn't baseball. You're in a big metal stadium with 108,000 people. Okay, it's the only thing that's in the entire surrounding area.
And where we were sitting, we were higher than the press box.
There you go. Put your umbrella down.
Exactly.
You're the highest thing.
Exactly.
So, oh man, but after all that, good time tailgating from everything I've heard, both Pitt and Penn State fans. But then you get to kickoff, man, and take me through your thoughts on the game. Are we going to go right to the elephant in the room, going right to the end of the game? We might as well, man, and not leave people hanging. What were your thoughts?
I do want to add, though, unfortunately, because of the delay, neither band was able to come out and perform before the game.
Yeah, okay.
And there were these big empty sections, and I'm looking, who's sitting there? And I was told it was the student body.
Right.
And they began to filter in during the first quarter. They ended up finally filling those sections.
Yeah.
But the whole pregame thing, I mean, to your point, probably helped Pitt.
Yeah.
But I mean, the whole pregame thing, I mean, the Pitt band couldn't go out there. The Penn State band couldn't go out there.
Yeah, there wasn't the booze.
And that's part of the experience too, right?
Sure.
You know, so You want to do the good, the bad, and the ugly, or the goods and the bads?
That's what I'm saying. Do it, man. I said, hey, go right to the elephant in the room.
Well, we're going to talk about the 4th and 1.
Yeah.
Right? But we're not going to talk about it a lot. It's been publicized. It's been covered by all the local papers. It's been covered nationally.
I guess my only question is, do you get it? Now that we're 48 hours later, you've heard the man himself's explanation. Do you get it any more than you did in the moment?
No, I don't.
I don't either. And that's the problem, man. He's talked twice about it. I've literally run all the calculations. I plugged it into Microsoft Excel, and I'm like, none of this makes any fucking sense, Pat.
No, you're absolutely right. And I'm sitting there shaking my head and looking at your mother, and I'm going, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Why are we doing this? Right? But again, there's no explanation for it.
My favorite part is now nobody gives a shit that the guy missed it.
Oh, right?
Nobody cares at all. Nobody's saying anything about the kicker or the result. If it goes in or it doesn't go in, everybody's having the same conversation.
Probably because it wouldn't have mattered.
Well, that's exactly what it is. Right. Everybody's going, who cares if he made or missed it? It's fucking stupid either way.
Exactly.
It was
exactly
just,
right.
in the moment, I'm going, what? And then I guess so you get the Hail Mary at the end to win the game and not tie the game, but at the same time, you're down 7. If you get the Hail Mary, go for 2. You could still win the football game.
We were talking about that, and I'm saying we better go for 2 here.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have if he ain't going for it on 4th and 1.
Here's the only thing that surprised me about that play, okay, or that call. All game long, he was aggressive.
4th and 1 earlier in the drive goes downtown.
I think he had 2 or 3 4th down conversions.
It was wild.
Okay, and then at that point in the game, he got conservative. And the plays that they ran down there, the Penn State defense made a great play on 3rd down because Pitt had 2 guys open.
Yeah, they were there.
They were there, and he didn't have the time to get rid of the ball.
Right. Well, it was the guy covering the running back who went at him who didn't give him the time.
Right.
So it was an all or nothing by that guy in between. And he got lucky that he got there because if he misses in any fashion, Pickett's got him, no doubt. So that was just a heck of a play.
Second down play, it was a kind of a read option, a dive to the running back.
Pickett kept it.
Should
have given it.
He scores.
Yeah.
The guy would have scored.
Should have given it.
And he said that's on me. I misread that.
Yeah.
1st down, I think, was just an incomplete
play
pass.
action.
But there were plays there that were working.
Right.
Okay. Again, do I quarterback sneak 4 times? Probably. Because you're going behind your best offensive lineman, and your second best lineman right now is your left guard.
Football guys.
So go behind those guys, right?
Just outsmarting themselves sometimes.
Exactly.
You just get too cute. You get paid too much money. Oh, they can't pay me that much just to call a quarterback sneak 3 times in a row. No, get your fucking 6th lineman, put him at fullback. Even if you don't get the initial shares, he hits the guy in the back, and maybe you fall forward. It's just, we saw the Birds do it Sunday night twice in a row from like the 2. They were like, hey, 1 yard, touchdown. What are we doing here?
Exactly. Exactly.
But,
for all your Steeler fans out there, we saw the Seahawks go for it on 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, right?
Yep.
To kind of seal that game.
I don't know.
But I couldn't help but wonder to myself, George Aston, where are you, big guy? We really could have used you there on Saturday afternoon.
Man. Fullback dive.
Exactly. But, okay, so moving on from that, because that's been talked about forever. I mean, honestly, I was extremely disappointed we didn't get the win. To me, there are no moral victories, okay? But, man, you cannot argue the effort that Pitt put out in that game.
Oh, yeah.
Both offensively and defensively. If we're kind of getting back into the good things here.
Sure,
The defense played fantastic. I liked it because they had swagger. They punched Penn State in the mouth.
Told you, man. Paris Ford
was fantastic.
He brings a different dynamic, man.
Twyman was fantastic. The secondary was fantastic. There's no question they dominated that line of scrimmage for most of the game. Of course, so did the Penn State defense, obviously, but we'll get back into that. But, I mean, the effort that these guys put out on both sides of the ball, and I'll be honest with you, the game plan that the coaches put together, everybody busted their ass on the Pitt side of the football. It's a shame that it's all going to come down to what people remember in the 4th and 1 call.
Right.
Because up to that point, I love the play calling. I mean, Pickett, what can you say about the kid? To me, that game, he grew up. He grew up in that game. I mean, there should be no more questions about Kenny Pickett's ability right now.
No, I agree with you. And I was going to give a minute or 2 minute spiel here on how he's answered the bell,
Yes.
that I threw at him, especially after week 1. And he looked totally different yesterday as opposed to that week 1 Virginia game. Just in the pocket, just trusting his offensive lineman, knowing that the pressure is going to come, but if I'm able to feel it and just slide in this pocket a little bit, give it another half a second extension as opposed to just filtering backwards and step into throws. There were a couple of throws. It was the one play earlier in the game. I remember the 2 drops. I touched on the one earlier where he was rolling, kind of threw back. But the first one, it was a 3rd down play where Taysir Mack, 3rd and like 12, ran kind of a comeback right to the sticks, and he threw it from the opposite hash to Mack. And it looked like it bounced to him, but then when they showed the replay, it got there, and he actually dropped the pass. And I was like, damn, that was a big boy throw right there from the other hash on 3rd and long and was going to extend the drive. And it's plays like that you got to make when you're trying to beat Penn State.
And you cannot give enough credit to the offensive line.
Yeah, so,
on pass protection.
Okay.
The irony of this is last year the pass protection was so poor.
Yes,
right.
That's true.
And then yet we could pound the football. Now we're 180 degrees.
That's
okay?
true.
And now we can't run the football, and we're passing the ball fairly well. But when it comes to pass protection, the offensive line played fantastic. And here's something, and it was funny because I was telling your mother at the game, wait a minute, I'm going to hold that thought. I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
It's kind of like when a guy has a no-hitter in the major leagues.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Week before against Ohio in front of probably 30,000 fans at Heinz Field, 5 illegal procedure penalties.
False starts.
5 false starts.
Yeah, how's that happen at home and then on the road?
Right. We go in front of 108,000 people, not one.
Nothing.
How about that? That was so. I will say that
you can't false start without a snap count.
Well, that's true.
They're going no snap.
That's true.
Look at Jim when he snaps the ball. You move.
Well,
okay?
and whatever it is, it worked. I mean, Pitt handled the crowd noise fine.
Yeah.
Offensively, they handled that fine.
And you mentioned the pass protection, and it was a lot of max protection 2-man routes from Pitt. Mm-hmm. I remember texting you during the game saying that they're leaving a lot of these tight ends and running backs in, and what they're doing is at the very least they're chipping these ends and then kind of sneaking out for delays. But
they were getting some good looks in some of those chips. Yeah, they really were.
There were a lot of times where they were staying in the whole time, and there wasn't even like a release valve there, and that's kind of what Pitt found their success in, giving Pickett time to throw, and he was making quality decisions. He had maybe 1 or 2 passes that got away from him that could have caused turnovers,
but a couple over
the
middle there.
Overall, when you throw the ball 51 times, but that's where, like you said, in pass protection, I stopped you because 24 yards on 25 carries isn't exactly going to win you a lot of road football games against Power 5 teams.
Yeah, no, I agree. And here's another part of this game that I think was really overlooked. Pitt's punter.
Mr. Krisha Lulu.
Yes, the Australian from down under. I mean,
Kirk.
Fabulous.
We'll go with Kirk.
Let's go with Kirk.
We'll go with Kirk.
Fabulous game. I mean, the special teams besides the debacle field goal. I mean, but by that I mean the kickoff teams and the punt teams were extremely strong.
Both punters were actually very good.
Both were.
Kirk was 6
in last year's game, we could not flip the field. And this year we were able to flip the field. Not only by first downs, but by punts, Yeah,
Pitt's guys averaged 45.2 with a long of 62, and Penn State's guy averaged 42.4 with a long of 53. So when I texted you, I think it was the last drive or second to last drive, Pitt started at their own 35 because of the kick-catch interference, which was a bang-bang call, which in college you got to give them half a second or whatever it was.
Yeah, that fired up the locals.
Yeah, and, on Sunday that would have been a hell of a play, but on Saturday it doesn't work like that. So they started at their own 35, and I said, hey, our best starting field position of the day.
Right.
It really was.
Yep, right.
And that just gets into another conversation of Pitt had 2 chances, I remember off the top of my head, of getting that turnover. One, there was a pass interference call that was there.
Was it there? I couldn't see it from where I was.
He hooked him
I was
and got him.
The ball,
he hooked him and got him, and because of that, he couldn't really get his hands up, and Ford made a nice play in reacting to it. And then the other one was the fumble, where the Penn State guy and Pitt guy both were close to, and ultimately the Penn State offensive lineman jumped back on it. But we had begged and said, you're going to need a turnover to win the game, and I think ultimately that proved true. Because
we didn't get it.
You get 10 points from your offense when they got to go the length of the field. At the end of the day, that's about right, because if they were getting 24, it was going to be off of 2 turnovers or a kick return or a punt return or something like that. They weren't going to go 10 plays, 80 yards more than once or twice, and that's what they did. They had those 2 great drives. The one stalled, and then they scored on the other one.
They had 3 long drives and came away with 3 points.
Right. You had 3 long drives and you got 10 points.
10 points. I mean, yes,
you got 10 points out of them instead of 17 to 20, and that's kind of your difference.
And you know what? I mean, let's be honest here. You have to give credit to Penn State's defense.
Micah Parsons,
he's a stud.
Is a man.
Yeah, he's a stud. I mean, he would look
5-star kid out of Harrisburg. Well, he was picking between Penn State and Ohio State.
Yeah,
so.
well, he still would look good in blue and gold. But anyway.
But here, Paris Ford, actually the top tackler, 11 tackles, 6 solo.
But here's the thing I
Very
noticed.
impressive.
Here's the thing I noticed about the defense besides the swagger a little bit. The speed on Pitt's defense is the best I've seen it in 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they were closing. I mean, Penn State kept running
Specifically in the secondary.
Yeah, but yes, exactly. Penn State and the linebacker. Penn State kept running these wheel routes from the running back.
Okay.
And it was kind of funny because I saw nobody moving from Pitt. And I go to the guy next to me, when is somebody going to cover this wheel route? Okay.
Yeah, they got him one time.
But the linebackers and the defensive backs were able to close and make the play.
Yeah.
And they prevented the big play on the wheel routes anyway. You know?
Yes.
So,
yeah, they had the one where he ended up cutting back, making a move, then the one run from their own 3 for 85 yards or whatever it was. So literally Pitt's defense, they don't give up those 2 to 3 big plays. Penn State's offense has 150 yards,
exactly.
200 yards.
And the deep threats. I mean, the deep balls.
Yeah,
Penn
Jahan
State was
Dotson.
doing. I mean, yeah, there were a couple of times that they were by the Pitt guy, maybe a yard.
That's bang, bang.
Yeah, but generally the Pitt guy was right there.
Yeah, it was
you know?
Pinnock. Like 3 or 4 times they kept picking on Pinnock with Dotson.
Right.
And he, unless it was a perfect throw, it was going to be incomplete. Right. And
exactly right.
That's all you can ask for on Saturdays specifically. But wrapping it up, man, obviously a disappointment, but I took out of it a lot of different positives, even more specifically looking to the future, because at this year in the beginning of it, I mean, we all knew 1-3. Pitt could play good football and be 1-3. It's the way that the schedule lined up. But after this next game at UCF, a lot of these ACC teams I'm staring at, if Pitt plays a game like they did Saturday, it's going to win a lot of those football games.
Exactly. I mean, they're not going to see a defense like this again until maybe Miami.
Right.
I mean, Miami's loaded on the defensive side of the ball as well. But no, you're absolutely right about that. Absolutely.
Now, having said all of that, I don't think Pitt is going to play that good of a football game on Saturday. We've kind of seen this in the past with Oklahoma State of
schedule makers. You gotta love them. By the way, who does Penn State play this weekend? It's a bye.
Oh, yes. They got Idle.
Yeah, they got Idle. And I think they're getting 3.
Yeah,
but,
they tend to win that game.
Yeah, exactly. But Pitt's done themselves no favors.
Well, UCF, when they scheduled them 5 to 7 years ago, was probably a cupcake.
True. That's a good point.
When the game was scheduled, because it's 5 to 7 years in advance, they're going, okay, we got Penn State. UCF is a All-American conference or whatever the hell they were about. It's Conference USA probably at the time.
Right.
When they scheduled it. And then all of a sudden, they put shit together where it's like, oh, man, what the hell's going on? So I'm not alone in this, apparently, because the line opened at 10.
Oh, okay.
It's already to 12. People are hammering the Knights. I looked at it going 10, well, that's not enough. That's not enough. But, Pitt's defense is the strength, and we're going to find out once again if they can answer the bell, because on the flip side, Pitt should be able to score more points this week.
And they should
UCF's defense isn't as good.
And they should be able to score more than they did last year against UCF. You would like to think they can control the ball a little bit better. Yeah, it's going to be a test for Pitt. I mean, obviously, the first thing you have to look at is the emotional status. I mean,
well, that
was a big game. I mean, no question about it. So it's very tough to be at that emotional peak 2 weeks in a row. So you're going to have a letdown.
Especially when it's probably not going to be a full house, jam-packed.
Probably not.
Giving you its best effort. You know what I'm saying there?
Not. So you're going to come back to that more normal environment at Heinz Field, unfortunately.
It's tough.
But, I mean, they have the defense to stop Central Florida, to slow them down, should I say.
Here will be the interesting thing. If you haven't dove into Central Florida, the quarterback position, the transfer from Notre Dame
not playing,
didn't win the job.
Right.
Have you seen some of these kids' stats that's playing?
Oh, yeah, the true freshman.
Yeah, he's got 720 yards, 9 touchdowns, no picks, and an 5.6 QBR, good for 13th in the country. Oh, and did you know, kids from Hawaii.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So all the way from Hawaii to UCF,
way.
3-star kid out of high school. Was projected to go to USC, obviously with some chaos and some changes there. He's at UCF, and I just how does that happen for UCF? How do they get a 3-star kid from Hawaii ranked, let's see here, 758th overall nationally, comes in, and he's lighting it up, and Kenny Pickett, 16 games in, we're going, all right, man, we're getting it. We're getting it here, Kenny. It's just little shit like that. I don't know, man. But we'll see. I'm just saying it's a test for the kid on the road. Eastern time zone. He's not from here. Good defense. We'll see. It
will be the biggest test for them. I mean,
well, they did just play Stanford, who I thought would give them a better game
at home. But I read somewhere that Stanford had a couple injuries on the defensive side of the ball.
Okay,
so they were a little bit depleted back there.
Just the name alone, I thought.
No, absolutely, it's a Power 5 team. Absolutely right.
Better football.
But the first game was Florida A&M. Second game was Florida Atlantic. So I think, and I like to
once
think
again, you're
Pitt's
thinking best.
Pitt's got the best defense that this team is going to see so far this year. So I mean, hopefully, like last week, to your point, maybe Pitt punches his kid in the mouth a little bit, and all of a sudden he gets a little rattled.
It's going to be interesting to see the game plan if they continue to attack like they did this past Saturday with a freshman and kind of rattle him that way, or if they respect kind of the spread offense a little bit more. Because even I think UCF, I know Penn State's more spread up tempo, but I think UCF is even more so.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's, are they going to have to go dime, nickel, play zone, keep him in front, or is, he going to go, hey, this worked last time, it's the only thing we have.
Have you checked out the rushing stats for UCF?
No, I don't think I've seen those.
Pretty impressive in their own right.
Are they?
Yeah, but you get that from a spread offense. People don't realize that, right? I mean, you get the quarterback running,
wear him
you
down,
go a single guy in the backfield, and you're spreading everybody out. And that would be the hard part. Can Pitt get to this guy? Or is he going to take the quick drops, get rid of the ball? But they do like to throw it vertical. They do like to go deep.
Yeah.
And it's those times when Pitt's got to get to the kid.
We'll see. Honestly, I don't know a ton about him outside of I did keep an eye on the quarterback thing because of the kid's injury last year and then the Notre Dame guy transfer. And you kind who won this? Wait, he's not a lefty. What's going on here? When you're watching the highlights. So
exactly.
It'll be a good one. I believe you're going to be in attendance once again.
We are, absolutely.
Okay, what the hell's wrong with you here, man? What the hell's the matter with you? Jeez,
long-suffering diehard.
God,
so
Jesus.
I got to get that taste from last Saturday out of my mouth.
Please do yourself a favor and just go to the Delaware game the following week. Just make it easy on yourself.
That's exactly what I don't do.
Stop giving yourself gray hairs.
I may have to go to the O or Permanis.
Pay $3.50 and go see the Delaware Blue Hens.
Right, exactly right. Exactly.
So give me your prediction, man. You were kind of spot on with your head a little bit. Ultimately, they didn't pull it out. I was more so correct in the fact that Pitt couldn't score points. So what do you think this weekend? How you feeling? Like you mentioned, all the ups, downs, emotional, home game now, tough ball game. Where are we at here?
Well, as you know, last week I made my prediction with my heart.
Yes.
This year I got to be realistic about it.
Okay.
I am going to go Central Florida 34, Pitt 28.
Okay. It's another good game, though.
I think it's going to be a game. I think Pitt could win, but I think you have a lot going against Pitt at this point.
I say 34. I would be surprised. The more I'm thinking about it, that's what I was thinking in my head. I'm going, okay, what did I do last week? 34-20, I think I had, or something like that. I'm going points-wise. Going under with UCF. Honestly, I think Penn State may have a little more talent than UCF.
Oh, I disagree with that. I think, well, they
offensive skill position-wise.
They have talent. Yes, they have more talent. But that scheme that UCF runs gives defenses a lot more problems than the scheme that Penn State runs.
Okay.
Like you said, they're the spread offense. They're wide open. They're 4 or 5 wideouts.
But it could be one of those.
Last time that happened was Oklahoma State, as you mentioned earlier in this podcast.
Yeah.
But this year's defense is better.
That's what I'm saying. In my head right now, though, you kind of get back to the whole Chip Kelly thing. If you can line up one-on-one and win battles against the spread offense, you tend to win the football game.
Correct.
Because there's not a whole lot of misdirection or complexity, or it's kind of like, here it is, there we go, who's open type of thing. So I don't know, though, man. Pitt's offense, you're going to have to prove me wrong once again. I can't pick them to score over 20 points until they really do, until they put it together.
This is the week we score the second half touchdowns.
Gets it outside of the second quarter. It's unbelievable. It's last November. That's a prop bet in its own right. You're getting crazy odds.
And by the way,
man.
Hey,
you can't win the football game if you don't score touchdowns
that
outside
last
of
second half touchdown was the flea flicker play to the lineman or the left tackle who got hurt. Who got hurt? Well, was that Morrissey? I think it was, right? So,
Morrissey got hurt because
that was
not
O'Neal.
Wasn't O'Neal. He was 2 years ago. I forget who the hell it was.
Yep.
But the left tackle scored. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So until Pitt shows me they can score over 20 and or a touchdown outside of the second quarter, you got to not take the Panthers. I'll go UCF. I'll go 27. So I think Pitt's defense still plays well. And then 20 17. I don't know.
That's good. That's
yeah, right. 10 to 12. It's kind of right there. I don't think I'm going to hit this one again, honestly, on the books, man.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, again, they have an opportunity to get some national recognition by beating the 15th ranked team in the country.
Right.
Okay. So there's an opportunity here. I'm just concerned about coming back, having a Penn State
hangover,
and things like that. But then you beat Delaware.
This is where the Paris Fords show up,
right? Then you beat Delaware, and you're 3-2 going into conference play. Let's do it. Let's get it
well,
going.
Yeah,
right?
that's the ideal scenario, right?
Exactly.
And you're still feeling good, but yeah, you're going to have to lean on your players here, Ford, Twyman, to kind of bring their own energy.
And I think they will.
Yeah,
I think they will.
It seems to be the group there, but overall, man. Heck of a 100th edition.
Yes, it was.
Of the rivalry.
And I will say,
entertaining.
Some of the Penn State fans that I talked to said it's a shame they're not playing again. I mean,
sure.
the fans that I talk, and I'm talking about standing in the Porta-John line. And
I'm
standing about. There was I've had problems going to Penn State before, but. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't consider myself obnoxious, but I will voice my opinion.
Sure.
Okay, and I will stand up when Pitt makes a great play in the end zone and take all kinds of crap.
Right.
But this year was the first year that it was very cordial. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of belligerence there. I mean, maybe because everyone knew it's just done. It's over.
I'm telling you, dude. Everybody's exhausted as we were. Literally on the podcast. It's literally like, okay, we know this is done. I don't even have time to hate you anymore. Like you're going away anyway.
Right.
It was more of a let's shake hands while we go. It's been fun, man. Let's do it again sometime. Which weekends are you free? I'm busy on that weekend.
Exactly.
Oh, what about this? I'm busy on that weekend.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
You have my number. We'll talk.
So on closing, let me just leave on that.
Yeah, sure.
If you don't mind me.
Sure.
So we're on the way home. We stop at a restaurant in Danville, Pennsylvania, kind of like halfway between.
Oh, it's beautiful, Danville.
Beautiful Danville. And so we're having dinner, and our waitress. Now, we're sitting with very good close friends of ours, Ann and Tim Birch, who have their Penn State gear on, and your mother and I have our Pitt stuff on.
Okay.
And our waitress comes up, and she goes, it's good to see Pitt shirts. She goes, I used to be a cheerleader at Pitt.
Nice.
It was like 2007, and she told us about her experiences at football games and, of course, basketball games she really enjoyed.
Yeah, it was better probably during her time.
So then shortly thereafter, her family comes in, and they have some Pitt stuff on. The younger girl has a Pitt stuff, and her mother tells me that she just got accepted to Pitt.
Awesome.
The day before. So she was really looking forward to it. So we're having these conversations, and then we're leaving. As we're leaving, 4 Penn State people come in. And we all just look at each other, go home, growl at each other. And then we said, hey, nice game and all that. And it was good. And now we're in Danville, effing Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay? And we're walking out of there, and I'm going, see, you're not going to get this with Auburn. You're not going to get this with Virginia Tech.
Right.
That's the unfortunate part.
Oh, it's the water cooler talk for the next 300 some days.
Probably the next 3,000 someday.
Yeah. Hey, I checked. They got an open date in like 2026 or something like that they can fill. And
we'll play in Morgantown.
Yeah, looking for a non-conference neutral site game.
Yeah, we're going to be in a bowl championship series.
Hey, here's one. Play in Texas Stadium. That's where everybody else plays neutral site games. Doesn't matter who the hell you are. Michigan played Florida in a neutral site game in Arlington. That's a true statement.
It is.
That's a true statement. So,
absolutely.
Oh, shit. But no, man, thanks for joining me again. Another solid week to look forward to. Pitt football. Got UCF coming to town. Great opportunity. Based on now, extended weather, I believe should be okay for the game, even though the rain tends to show up when it's not supposed to. But Kenny Pickett, continued evolution, continue to step forward. The offensive self, got to figure out a little bit of shit with the running game.
Yep, no, you do.
Because even then, some of those play action draws, it's just the linebacker was right in the back. I mean, he's not sitting on anything. So it's just little things like that will continue to evolve. But if Pitt plays a game like they did Saturday, 6 out of the next 8 weeks, they're going to win a lot of those football games.
I think if Pitt plays the game they played Saturday, they're going to beat UCF. I just question whether they can get to that level emotionally and physically. I mean, really, I think. But if they do, I think they can beat UCF down there. Absolutely. Yep.
Well, we'll wait and see. We'll get a first-hand experience from yourself once again.
Exactly.
We'll have to do a which one's better, 108 in Beaver Stadium or 30 in Heinz Field? What's going on here?
Yeah, you know what? I also missed the memo. They had the blue and the white stripes.
Oh,
and I wore my bright yellow picture just to stand out. You know what I'm saying? So, but hey, next week at Heinz Field, it's a yellow out.
Yes.
So, okay.
That's good. That's good. The upper deck, they will be in
all yellow.
accordance.
All upper deck will be in yellow, yes. So.
But anyway, everybody, follow us out there, Too Close to Call Cast. We have a hotline number. It's in the description of the episode, or you can find it on our Instagram. We want to know your thoughts. We're following along on the Facebook groups, hearing what you guys are saying. We want to discuss along with you guys. Maybe one of these weekends, if you don't go to the game, we'll have to get together. Maybe we'll do like a live Facebook post-game thing in the group where we'll get everybody talking and get some interaction going and have some conversation that way, because this past weekend after 4th and goal, it would have been a good one.
Yes, it would. And just on a parting note, I'd like to add that we were playing the podcast while we were tailgating at Penn State, which was great to see. And all the people are walking by, they're stopping and listening, and then they're all going, "Oh, this is a Pitt podcast." But it got people's attention. It got people's attention.
Very cool.
Looking forward to next Saturday, and Alik and Hail to Pitt.
Peace.